Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of SFM Conversations here with me, Rob Sewell. Today, I'm super excited to have a little chat with someone who I'm getting to know really well at the moment. He's actually my accountability partner for my online business, Patrik Hillerhag. Say hello, Patrik.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, good. So, Patrik, we're going to get into a lot of stuff here about starting an online business with the SFM and our experiences so far. But first of all, maybe you can tell the viewers out there a little bit about who Patrik Hillerhag is and how you got to be here in the SFM building an online business.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So I'm currently 30 years old. And I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. Let's just go through, I mean, we don't have to go through 100 hours of my upbringing and all that stuff. Guess it was all right. Some things were good, some things were not.
Sure.
But just quick about my work career. I started out as an electrician, and I did that for 5 years. Let's just say I didn't exactly enjoy that. To be completely honest, I hated it. At points, at least, it was many early mornings, going up like 5 a.m, commuting to a job, and starting at 7 a.m, and just kind of working your ass off. It was really, it was hard work, and I at the time I was playing in a band, playing drums in a band with my friends, and we were just kind of dreaming of having a music career, and going to a job like that. Sure, it paid the bills and it made me learn how to work hard, but it wasn't exactly my dream, But I ended up, after switching many jobs as an electrician, I ended up to realize that it was not going to work out. That career choice was just not my thing at all, and I took the risk of switching careers. And I started thinking to myself, like, what if money didn't really matter? What can I do then? And I started thinking I want to do something in music, and I got into this audio engineer, music producer education, and and it was 2 of the best years of my life, because I was finally doing something that I was really passionate about. Maybe looking back at it, I was a little naive of the market, of how much jobs there were out there. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't choose some of your dreams because the market is hard or something, but if you want to do that, you really, really need to hustle, to, at least in Stockholm, to get jobs like that. And so that's kind of what I did. Also, I had my own little recording studio where I was like recording my music, and but it wasn't paying the bills. And after applying a lot of jobs, I got into this, it wasn't a music store, but it was like a store for renting equipment for events and music events. And I was also doing some audio engineer stuff on that. It wasn't my dream job, but it sounded like it's at least something that's pretty in my type of field, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I also playing in a band and just growing up in that culture and stuff. I've been dealing with alcohol and other substances over the years, and it just got to a point where the fun became more of an addiction, and more of the fun became more pain. It wasn't worth it anymore. It was just creating all this mess and this negative problems in my life, and I kind of realized that pretty early on. So I was trying to quit, and it was like on and off for many years. But I finally managed to give up that after hitting rock bottom about 2 years ago. and I've been sober ever since. So I'm really grateful for that. But in that process of sobering up and stuff like that, I was digging into a lot of personal development. And I mean, if you would have seen me 5 years ago, you would never recognize who I was, you know. I wouldn't have known who I was. I'm not saying I was a bad person or anything, but I was just all over the place. And I was not, the decisions I was making in life was not serving me whatsoever, to say the least. And so going into this personal development and really started looking for more, I basically was listening to Tony Robbins and all these gurus, if you call them gurus, but coaches and personal development mentors. I was listening day in, day out, you know, to them, and kind of my perspective started to shift, you know. So being at, I knew I wanted more, and I knew I didn't want to be stuck in that place where I was working in that store. It just wasn't, the vibe there was just not the same as the vibe I was getting from these all these great coaches and mentors. So it kind of, and also realizing that that's not my passion, and I wanted more time to like play music or do what I want to do, you know. So that led me down the path of searching for alternatives online, and that's how I finally came into SFM, and I realized that, wow, this is actually something legitimate. Like you can actually do this sort of online education, and it's almost like going to college again or something, but still not. It's so much more than that, you know.
So yeah, I mean, that's a great story, Patrik. And I mean, obviously, I mean, we've talked a few times before. We've met a couple of times as well through the SFM, and you know, I relate a lot to your story because, you know, we've both had our issues with drugs and alcohol. I'm really pleased that you've managed to give up a long time before I did. So a lot of respect for you for that. But you know, but we also found the SFM through the same people as well, didn't we? So it really proves that you know, marketing does work. You know, we have a lot in common, don't we? And you know, in terms of our thought processes, the way we think, and you know, we've both come into the SFM through the same kind of marketing. So so yeah, so you joined SFM. I think, when did you join? It was about April, was it?
Yeah, it was late April of 2018.
Yeah, so a few months after me. And then, so what was your first impressions of SFM? And I believe that you were a little skeptical at first. Maybe you could.
Yeah. It was. It took me. I think I saw the ads on YouTube. I was watching so many Tony Robbins videos, and I saw this ads popping up all over the place. And I think it took me like 3 or 4 times of seeing the same ad before I actually like really listened to what he was saying, because it was almost so intimidating. I knew that what he was saying was kind of true, but I didn't want to hear it. So I watched the ad and I signed up for the videos. And then it took me about a month before having this argument at work with my boss and realizing that it's time to start changing my life. And I started watching the video series, and instantly after I saw Stuart and Jay, I just kind of realized that, well, these guys are actually real. You know, they're not trying to sell me anything, and they're not trying to hassle me, and they're not trying to, they're genuinely trying to help people. I could feel that through their videos. But it took me, I think at least I watched through all the videos, and then I watched this Q&A also, or FAQ with Stuart, and then I signed up. And I still didn't really know what it was, but I knew that I wanted to make a lot more money, and I knew that I wanted something more. And I didn't know that it was, I didn't know how much personal development really was in it. I thought it was just make money, and I was okay with that. Basically, I was just like, I want to make as much money as possible, and I didn't really exactly understand what it was. But I came in with the attitude of I'm going to 100% make this happen, no matter what it's going to take me. I don't care. I was in this like Gary Vaynerchuk mode, you know, just hustle till you die or something.
Yeah. But yeah, but you're really after a change. That's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, for me, I think when I first came in, I didn't even feel any skepticism. For some reason, something just clicked very early on. When I came inside into this SFM community, I realized that this was an incredible education platform, but it was a way of really, really developing yourself as well as a person, because you need that. You know, I mean, I come from a sales and marketing background, but I've always worked for a corporation. So, you know, I've always been told what to do and when to do it. You know, I've never kind of had that. And the word entrepreneur to me would just be, that's definitely not me. Now I completely think of myself as an entrepreneur, and I'm really, really confident and comfortable with that. But it's only with the help of the community, and, you know, all of the help and experience of everyone within there that's helped me to be able to achieve that kind of confidence. But so in terms of the community here at SFM, what experience have you had of that, and what can you tell people about it?
Yeah, 100%. Like what you're saying about how, comparing it to the corporate and stuff like that, it's just day and night, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's definitely a mindset to be shift to be an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, you don't know when you're going to get paid, and you don't know, you don't, in the beginning at least, you don't, not having exactly that security of knowing exactly, and you have to do the work, and it's one day at a time, and it's like consistent work. But talking about the community, it's almost like they gathered up all of the kindest, nicest, hardworking, helpful, incredible people, and that's only. I was almost surprised, like how nice they were when I joined. It was like, are you kidding me? Is this for real? Like, I wasn't
you
used to
in a normal workplace, you see, do you?
No. It's like day and night. You know, I was surprised, really surprised, because at my workplace, I mean, I'm not going to talk trash about my old colleagues, but come on, I mean, they were they were complaining about stuff that was just ridiculous, and I used to be like that also. It's just kind of it's an attitude shift, it's a mindset shift for sure. But community has just been fantastic, and we've seen that over the events that we've been at, because we've met each other, and we met so many incredible people and new friends, you know.
Yeah, but there's that real sense of community, isn't there? But people help each other as well. You know, we're taught to help people, to lead people. You know, if you're a little bit further up on your online journey than someone else, then you help to pull them up. And, you know, someone who's a little bit further on than you, they'll help to pull you up too.
Yeah. It's like, it has nothing to do with competition. It's just like you're learning leadership skills through helping others and getting help from others also. You don't have to know all the answers. Obviously, when you start out, it's like you have no clue what it's all about, and it can be a little bit overwhelming and go, do I have to know everything? No, I would say, like, in the first 1-2 months of joining, you don't have to teach anyone anything, because you probably have nothing to teach. But once you start to, so it's best to, probably when you start out, it's just best to be learning as much as possible. But once you start to get ahead of people, because there's always new people coming in, then you have something to teach, and everybody has something to share of value. It's something you get to learn also. You're like, but my story isn't that important, or people can relate to that, and there is more to it than you think in your story. You have a lot more value to give than what you think.
Yeah, well, it's not just all about, you know, I mean, obviously within the community, there are people who earn 6, 7, even 8-figure incomes who mentor us and teach us things, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But, you know, everyone else coming in, where everyone's got something to share. Everyone will have learned something that they can pass on to someone else, and it is, you know, with people that really helps. But so, I mean, one of the most amazing things, and I know that you've got a lot out of it, because I've been to 2 events with you recently, one in Toronto and one in Austin, Texas. You know, these live events where we actually, you know, get to see and meet and mix with and be mentored by, you know, some of these people like Stuart and Jay, Justin Wolf, these sort of people, just the, you know, people with incredible experience and insight. Have you found the live events? I know you've absolutely loved them, because I've seen shifts in you, and I've felt shifts myself after going to them. You know, when you think you know everything about marketing, it's like, wow. And we've got another one coming up next week. We're in London, right? Next week. So yeah, what's your experience of these live events? Because they're incredible, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. You can see me. I'm just smiling. But we were fortunate enough to do 2 events pretty close. It was just a couple of weeks, about a month in between them or something. And yeah, it's completely, it's hard to exactly explain, but there's something that has shifted, you know. There's from going to the first one with a brand incubator, the platinum event, was like really digging deep into your story and finding out your values, finding out your purpose. I mean, like it's just not something that regular people get to do, you know. People don't really know their purpose. Getting to know that, going through all that experience, hanging out with meeting all the people.
This is learning how to market ourselves as people.
Yeah.
Message on YouTube and on websites, and
and we
incredible, isn't it?
Just getting to share that experience with everybody was absolutely amazing. And then we came to Austin, and I mean, wow, I didn't know what to expect, but I left there feeling completely, I don't want to sound like someone went to like a cult meeting or anything, but
whoa, wasn't it?
I left feeling more like myself. It was because personal development is not like, you don't have to learn anything. You're just peeling off the layers of the onion, you know, and you're finding out the core of yourself. It's basically unlearning rather than learning. Obviously education is sure, but the more you can unlearn the bad things that you shouldn't be doing to yourself and to others, it's incredible. But yeah, in Austin, I mean, come on, it's just such a weird thing, because things just sort of happen for reasons, you know. I came there, and I mean, we had a lot of fun. We don't have to go into all the fun that we had. There was no drinking, obviously, but we ran electrical scooters and for some others, electrical scooters and weird restaurant visits. It was really fun. But just meeting up with, getting the chance to meet with Jay in Toronto, and meeting up with Stuart in Austin, just goes to show on what level this company is on. It's just like they're really leading by example, and they're really just being in the presence of people who have what you have, and who have accomplished what you are set out to accomplish. It makes you believe in yourself, and it makes you absolutely grow as a person, and it makes you realize that these people just started out somewhere also. I mean, if Stuart Ross started 10 years ago, I have no idea how he was back then, but it just goes to show that, like, when you start and you put in the work and you really believe in it, and you get the right education and all of that, it's possible. It's just, I think,
it just shows that it's like, you know, that the learning of the marketing, the actual learning of that, getting your message right, but also the personal development to gain the confidence, so you just have no fear and whatever. I think it all just comes together in the SFM. I think that's why I kind of love it so much. And I guess that we're all still learning, right? Because you do come away from these events and you have these light bulb moments, like, wow, you know, I really need to go deeper into this. And so we've been doing quite a lot of that recently, haven't we?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you never stop learning. I mean, especially as an entrepreneur, you know, if you stop learning, you're dying. You know, it's not gonna. it's not where it should be. So forever, I guess most people, they like when they stop going to school, it's almost like they stop learning. They just watch the news and get all negative, you know. But when you're more focused on an entrepreneurial mindset, and you completely you're developing yourself all the time, and you want to grow and develop yourself, I mean, the sky really is the limit. You set your own work hours, and you set your own paycheck in the end, you know, once you master the skills.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people know my story if they've seen my videos before. If they haven't, then, you know, I did have an issue with alcohol, and, you know, I ended up losing my job, and, you know, I had a significant amount of time off before I started doing this, building an online business with the SFM. And then, so I've just always done it full time. You know, I've been able to go at it and at it. Now, for the majority of people have a full-time job, you know, quite often a professional job, maybe they have family, kids, they got everything going on, but they're still managing to start to develop this. So, you know, when you started with the SFM, Patrik, you were working full-time, right?
Yeah, I was working full-time, and I was unfortunately single at the time, so I still am. No, but I was, at the time, I was very, very motivated to focus on my career and my own personal development and my growing. So I guess but I had a full-time job, and it had a lot to do with priorities, I guess. Like I didn't come home and watch TV and just slack. Instead, I put a lot of time into learning this. I took it very seriously, because like any education, doesn't matter if it's online or if it's a university. I mean, if you don't take it seriously and put in the work, you know, you're going to get the results the effort you put in. That's the result that's going to come out. It's 100% like that. I guarantee you. But so I didn't have, fortunately also I had like 5 weeks vacation, or I took 5 weeks vacation. And I basically, that summer, I didn't take any vacation. I basically just worked on getting my business up and running. And this was by choice, obviously. I mean, hearing it now, I can understand that it sounds a little bit like I was obsessed with it. And I probably was a little bit, but it was really fun, and really fun experience to learn it. And obviously you don't have to be all crazy with it. You can, if you don't feel like you have a lot of time, you can definitely do it like 1 hour at least, as long as you do it consistently, like 1 hour.
That's the point, isn't it? Consistent action.
Like 1 hour per day, 2 hours per day. And then on the weekends, you can do it a little bit more, because really in the first, I would say first 1-2 months, maybe 3 months, it depends. Let's say first 3 months, it's basically just learning. And then when you set up and start marketing, the business is running for you automatically, you know? So then you don't have to put in as much time, but it's that initial time frame that you have to put in before the business starts getting up and running. And there's no point in trying to cheat it or hack it, because it's just going to bite you in the end if you don't put in the work. So, but if like there's people in the community who have had like 13-hour jobs, 3 children, and still managed to create a life they wanted. Like, I have no idea. I envy those people so much. How could they do that? Because like I said, I single, no children, just a mental attitude. That was great.
Yeah, but it can be done.
Yeah.
But then so we were in Toronto, and you were complaining about not being happy at work, right?
Yeah. No, I kind of reached a point where basically me and my colleagues were not getting along. And I think I told them also, because once I found SFM, it was kind of like this, wow, crazy experience. And I thought I was going to like change my life in a week or something, but obviously it's not how it works. But I was really sick at my job at the time, and I was kind of like, I need to get out of here. And we had some arguments and I kind of told them that I didn't want to be there anymore, which was probably a little bit childish of me, but in the moment it was like, it was an argument that we had. So the summer went by and I went to Toronto and had this like massive experience, and that was very, very, very deep and very, it was an incredible experience. And then came back to work the week after that, and it was almost like it was meant to be. My boss and I, we just kind of walked up to each other and went, well, this isn't working. Not really, right? So it's probably best for both of us if we don't continue doing this. And it was, I mean, if that would have happened to me, it actually has happened to me before, where I got laid off from work because they didn't have the, what's it called? It's like when they don't have the resources to keep you, when they don't have enough jobs, they can like let go of you. And that happened to me before, and I kind of panicked before when I got unemployed, and I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my life? And am I going to die? Like, and all that weird thoughts. But this time it was almost like, this is happening for some sort of reason. I have my online business, and I know that this is the path I'm supposed to go. And yeah, ever since then I've been doing it like full time and just digging into it, and going to Austin just kind of anchored that feeling also. That
you know, you're not looking to go back to work at the moment, are you? You know that this is going to take off for you.
Yeah, because it's almost like once you have it up and running, and you kind of have the mindset shift of like being an entrepreneur, and it's almost like, this sounds weird to say it, but it's almost like it would be kind of crazy to start looking for a job, because if I really put in the effort and do the work with this business, it can take me somewhere I want to go, rather than keep like aiming for the things that you can get. That's never going to get you anywhere but exactly there. So if you trust in I learned to so much more trust in the process, and really get to know myself better, and really trust in myself, rather than always keep aiming for the things that like I know I can get. Sure, I can go get another job, but then I'm going to spend all the energy in that job and just to get the money, when I have an online business where I can like work on something I'm really passionate on, and once that kicks off, that money problem is going to be solved. But it's all about providing the right value to the right people, rather than looking for the safe route. Really isn't that safe either. I could be going to another job, and then it's like 6 months later it just tell me to go.
But you don't need that now. But it's all about the mindset, isn't it? It's like you said. I mean, a few months ago, or a year ago, if you'd have lost your job, you'd think you're going to die. You have worst case scenarios in your head. I can remember when I lost my job 18 months ago. I literally thought, that's it. I'm going to be on the streets. I'm going to die, etc. And after a bit of work on myself, then I just realized, well, wait a minute, you can just sell your house. you can pay off some debts. You've got money left, and you can invest that in keeping yourself going until you get your online business taking off, which is what I've done. So yeah, it's this change in mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think that these jobs that we don't even like are what we need to sustain us. My mind has just completely changed.
No, it's not going to get you where you want to go, and it's also what we focus on expands. So if we can constantly focus on the negative, it's going to take us there. But if we are certain and know in ourselves, and we trust that, and only focus on the outcome that we truly want, well, like I said, what we focus on expands. So it's going to get us there. So like I said, it's the mindset shift, and really anything we can imagine in our mind, we can create in our world. I'm not saying, I mean, that might sound like some woo-woo stuff, but I'm not saying that it's going to happen in an afternoon, obviously not. But if you think about it, like before we flew airplanes and stuff like that, I mean, it was people who created that. It's like they had the thought in their mind, and then they executed. Before we went to the moon, you know, some guy or girl, I don't know, they thought about that and they actually executed that. So before, and the same with like the 4-minute mile and all of that, you know, it's all, we can actually, once you realize that you actually create your own future, and you actually manifest what you get. And it's the same if you're stuck in a job and you feel like, I want to change, but your mind's, I mean, it's almost like if you don't take the chance and step out of that, you're just going to create the same thing over and over again, because it's almost like you're on autopilot.
Well, I've got goose pimples there, Patrick, from that. That was really nicely put. I mean, it actually really even answers kind of the question I was going to give you next, because kind of the last question I was going to ask is, you know, if someone is just kind of thinking, you know, they're fed up at work, they're looking for a new direction, you know, they're thinking that, you know, a promotion or a change in career is going to help them, which is what I've done and what you've done. We realize that it never made us happy. It will just manifest the same kind of life that we've been living. What advice would you know, give for someone who's just thinking, well, I've heard of this online business, but, you know, and I know it's real, I've checked it out, but can I do it, you know? But you kind of seem to have answered it there, but I don't know if you've got anything else to add on that.
Yeah, it's all, I think it's all about trusting yourself also. And I mean, of course you can do it. It's not like it's, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but it is simple. And everything is kind of, all the information is laid out there for you. So you just have to do the job. I guess the hardest part everybody seems to be struggling with is kind of getting out of like the comfort zone and kind of facing your fears, or any like insecurities or anxiousness you had. If you face that in small amounts, I mean, you're going to grow as a person, because really it's all about that comfort zone. You know, we stay inside of it because it hurts to be out of the comfort zone. But if you want to go somewhere, if you have a goal that you never achieved before, you have to do something you've never done before. And it's just like when you go to the gym, that hurts, but afterwards your muscle grows. You know, it's exactly the same thing with when you start your own online business. It's just like you get to grow in the process, and it's also you're not going to have, just knowing that you're not going to have all the answers when you start out. You're probably going to be very confused, but if you stick with it and you decide that, yes, this is the change I want, that I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I want to change my life. I believe I can change my life. Truly, I can truly do it. That's when, and you're open to it. If you're open-minded and you're open to the fact that it can actually happen, it's just believing. The belief is like the first thing. If you don't believe that it could actually happen, it's never going to happen. But if you start believing that it could actually happen, one step at a time, and you're good to go. Then it's just start doing the work.
You're convincing me, Patrick. That was really beautifully put. I mean, and you think about it. I mean, would you have been able to give that advice a year ago? Probably not, right? This is what you've learned through the SFM. It's not just learning to do online marketing. Of course, that's a big part of it, but it's all about the mind shifts and the self-development to give you that confidence and that belief that you've talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, that's good. I think we'll wrap it up there, Patrik. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. And so I shall say goodbye to everyone. Before I go, actually, I forgot, Patrik, where can people find you if they're interested in checking out your website?
Yes, my website is afreedomlife.com.
Freedomlife.com.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you, Patrik Hillerhag.
Thank you for doing this. Take care.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.